It's time once again to turn back the clock and take a look at Swindon from a time gone by. More Swindon Through the Years, comparing the images from the past with those of a modern Swindon. And this time we're turning back the clock to the 1990s. It was boom time for Swindon, expansion, conversion and improvements, all captured by the Swindon cable cameras for the weekly news programme This is Swindon. We now look back at some of those images, capturing a town in transition, frozen in time, in more Swindon Through the Years. Delving into the Swindon Cable Archive, we're turning back the clock to 1994. Another look at Swindon through the years. Here's a view across the land that was once school playing fields looking towards the county ground. It's easy to forget that the land by the side of Drake's Way was once a playing field for pupils of nearby St Joseph's Roman Catholic School and the Drove Road School until the early 1990s. In these views, the Drake's Way sports fields were in the news because they were being sold off and there were plans to redevelop and build on the old school fields. It was a controversial move at the time and something that was happening right across the country as local authorities faced painful budget cuts. The full transformation of the site is still not complete today. We catch a glimpse of Drake's Way. The busy road is now a dual carriageway and all down one side is now peppered with local businesses. Drake's Way is busier than ever, being one of the main routes into town from the Oxford direction. What was once a single carriageway now accommodates a constant flow of traffic, with a number of junctions providing access to local businesses. And on the land that was once green fields is tarmac, steel and concrete. The area totally unrecognisable from our 1994 views. Once again, the fluctuating fortunes of local businesses sees the names above the doors constantly change. There's very little to provide us with a focal point between then and now. Where the car shop is now located was once the EMI CD pressing plant in the very aptly named Penny Lane. In fact, this is the very same location as we turn back the clock. In this view, we're looking towards the County Ground Stadium. There's still a pocket of land up for redevelopment. The trees and hedges, all having grown, now block out the view of Swindon's football stadium. But once again, this is roughly the same location. The estate built where children once played sports. This clip clearly shows Drake's Way as a single carriageway back in 1994, looking up towards what used to be the Crosby Doors factory. It's fascinating to think how we would have coped with this amount of traffic today on a single carriageway. The road was widened and the junctions added as levels of traffic increased into town. Changes that we all take for granted with the passing of time. And interesting for me to remember that as a pupil of Drove Road School, I clearly remember using these playing fields and having a long walk home to Old Town. Again, this is the same location, comparing the images of the past with those of today. Our modern views show that commercial units cover the once greenfield leisure site. traffic on Drake's Way has increased dramatically, and the days of land being used for football, rugby or athletics has now gone forever. Well, this is the modern view of Greenbridge Road, probably most well known as being the home of W.H. Smith's warehouse and distribution centre. But at the other end of the road, there used to be another well-known name. Before moving to the new premises that we just saw in Drake's Way, this was the home of the EMI CD pressing factory. Today we see the old buildings have long since been replaced by more modern office units. But let's turn back our clock to the 1994 view. So here we are with a look at the old building that was eventually swept away. Some of the most famous names in music had their CDs produced right here in Swindon, and were often regular visitors to come and see how their music was being produced. The move from vinyl to CD meant increasing CD production in Swindon, and EMI expanded and moved into new purpose-built premises in Drake's Way. But this is how it used to be. From Blur to the Beatles, David Bowie to the Rolling Stones, and George Michael and the Spice Girls all had their CDs pressed at the Swindon factory. Today, the building at Greenbridge has long been forgotten, along with the site's former connection to the music industry. This is in fact the same view, looking in the same direction all these years later. In fact, our only way of matching up the pictures with those from the past is by looking at the storm drain cover in the curb. Watch closely as the years pass by. CD manufacturing officially started in the town in 1986 and continued until May 2002, when the factory in Penny Lane was closed down, it then being cheaper to manufacture the CDs overseas. It's easy to forget just how important the company EMI was in the entertainment business, also having played a part in the creation of Swindon Cable, originally set up by Thorn EMI Screen Entertainment. Our visual secrets from the past, unveiled in Greenbridge Road in Swindon Through the Years. Back in 1994, Swindon was getting ready for a brand new hotel to open in the town. Amid much excitement, the world-famous Hilton brand was building a new hotel at Lydiard Fields, just off junction 16 of the M4 motorway. The Swindon Hotel was a welcome addition to the town at a time when hotel rooms were increasing in demand during boom time. Our images show feverish construction work continuing as the hotel was prepared for opening day. The hotel brought with it 171 rooms, as well as 15 meeting rooms and banqueting facilities for up to 300 people. It immediately became a popular venue for wedding receptions in Swindon. The flags then flying, the building complete and ready to take its very first visitors. These images show the completed hotel on display and ready for opening, alongside the reception, the bar and restaurant, known as Minsky's. Swindon had become a bustling town, attracting visitors from across Europe, and this hotel just off the motorway provided the perfect place to stay for business travellers. Back then there was a definite lack of hotel rooms in Swindon, and the Hilton was keen to capture some of that lucrative market. So let's compare some of those images from 1994 with those of today. Once again, we can see that trees and hedges have matured, preventing some of the exact views being copied. The original hotel branding removed as part of a makeover. Across the years, the car park must have hosted thousands and thousands of cars. The frenetic energy of all that building work now long forgotten, as the hotel settled down to become a familiar venue for conferences and meetings. I wonder just how many of the workmen that helped build the hotel ever had the opportunity to stay there. The hotel is still a popular venue for visitors to the town on business. The hotel is now known as Doubletree by Hilton. The original lighting from the awnings has also disappeared. Once again, we'd hardly notice all these changes without the benefit of being able to compare our then and now pictures. It provides a fascinating comparison across the years. The addition of new hotels in Swindon underlines the fact that the 1990s were part of the boom time, with major businesses expanding into the town, often seen as the perfect location with easy rail connections to London and the West, and the M4 motorway passing to the side of the town. It shows once again how we take many buildings and businesses for granted as we compare our images from across the years. We'll have more Swindon Through the Years coming soon, but in the meantime, please do remember, like, comment and share. We'd like to hear your memories of a changing town. And look out, more Swindon Through the Years coming soon.